Hmm. It never feels good to relapse or to fail on something that you've been working hard at. It's one feeling to let another person down, but it's another entirely when you feel that you're your own worst enemy, that you are sabotaging yourself at every turn. At times you could be seizing self-improvement. Any time that you've had this thought, I should go and exercise, and then you've refused and you've not done it. You've stolen that from yourself. Anytime you've spent an entire day inside, as the sun goes down, you get ready to turn on Netflix or YouTube, whatever it is you plan on doing, and spending some more time. You just think to yourself, I've wasted that entire day. For me, I played video games a lot through my childhood, through my teenage years, and into early adulthood. And I don't think video games in and of themselves are a problem. But anything that's going to steal a great amount of your time, and then afterwards, you're really left with no meaningful progress, nothing to show for it. It sucks. Now with single-player games, I suppose, if it's a good, well-crafted story, you can really take to heart that you went through that experience. Maybe you remember some famous moments. Something really struck you. Maybe it was the soundtrack. Maybe it was the level design. And it's kind of the same as watching a great movie. It's an art piece, and you were able to take part in it. And that's one thing. It's another thing to have spent 7 hours a day since 2010 playing Halo or whatever else, and just no-lifing it. You look at famous World of Warcraft players, and you see World of Warcraft go in a bad direction. These people's entire world has been destroyed, and they just feel like the time's been wasted. What was it for? What was the purpose of building those memories, those engagements, even with other people? Because now it's over with. And there's some who stick it out even though it's not fun like it was. It's sort of a chasing the dragon experience to some people. They're there because of sunk cost, They don't want to leave it. They've been with it for so long. What else is there? And I don't look down upon people because of that. But we've all experienced our isolation, our atomization. I think during COVID-19 was when people really got a taste of it. But for some people, it had been that way long before. And for some whom it was that way before, and for some who it only became that way during a quarantine, it has persisted. Isolated. Living not for life's sake, but living for the escapism. To detach oneself from the real world, to isolate. To be a part of almost a matrix that one creates. Their own curated social media, their inflow of dopamine at their fingertips. In real life, a payoff is not always guaranteed for our hard work. But for moderate work, things that aren't even of great challenge, there can be guaranteed satisfaction, a guaranteed fulfillment that one's time was not wasted when it's something digital. It's something they can always seize. And as a result, who would want to take part in the harder thing, in real life? This is the case for many, I think. But for me, games weren't the biggest problem. I can stop games. I can hop off. I'm not angered if I miss a daily login. I'm not put off by the idea of not tuning in as though it's a 9-to-5 job to spend hours a day working away at some stupid temporary 3-month-long season pass. It's meaningless to me. I played it because of my friends. Not to say that they roped me in, but to say that it's them that made it worthwhile. And I still have these friends, but life's problems encroach upon them, and they seek something as an escape. I don't have these big life problems. Rather, I have a life unlived, because I've been joining them in the escapism the whole time. But it's not what I'm interested in. To have a pale body that's not been properly bathed in the sun. To have soft, uncalloused hands and feet that don't travel, that don't seek out adventure. To have eyes damaged by screens. They're not battle scars. It's more like the atrophy of being in a comatose state for too long. But I'm sure there are many that are this way. Ones with brains damaged by constant surges of instant gratification. Desensitized to life's joys. And seeking to recover and to heal. But after years of damage, it will take years of hard work to undo that damage. And when one fails, when one goes, as the scripture says, as a dog back to his vomit, one relapses. One hurts oneself, seeking poison as though it's medicine. Looking for a comfort, but not finding any relief, finding regret, finding more time wasted. More self-inflicted wounds. And is it worse to hurt your own body or to hurt your own mind? And how long will it take for you to recover? What help do you need that you're not receiving? Or what hands are reaching out to help you? And which have you slapped away? So one is tempted to feel failure after these recourses. Or perhaps one takes too much assurance when another says, no, there's nothing to fear. Get back on the horse. These are both problems. Or one might feel pride. One might need pride as their suture, or so they believe. And as a result, they'll virtue signal. They'll say, look at these terrible things. I want to avoid these terrible things. And you too should avoid these terrible things. And that can all be true. But if the person is saying it, and then, in secret, returning to that which they claim to despise, they'll be a hypocrite. And perhaps that person intends to do such things earnestly, to not return to whatever it is they are decrying. But all the same, if they do, they'll feel the guilt of their hypocrisy. They'll know that they've said one thing and done the contrary. And then what? There is no choice but to return to recovery. Perhaps it's a tower that is never finished in its construction. But the scaffolding cannot be left empty, and the stacks of supplies should not collect dust. It's important to return to the process of self-construction and to abandon the self-destruction. Your addiction, that is destructive. That is what's hurting you, and you know it. And so why would you want to return to it? It's just habit. That is calcified around every one of your synapses. You'll see something, you'll think something. It's a system. But you need to restore the part of your mind that allows you to take your time, that tells you, no, I will not seek instant gratification. I will work towards what is meaningful. I will read. I will exercise. I will explore. I will eat healthy. There is virtue in denying oneself. Confucius said that the greatest warrior is the one who conquers himself, his own mind. This is a principle that I think everyone can apply. But all the same, there's just a feeling of emptiness. And for some, it might metastasize into a feeling of hopelessness. But no, there is always redemption. At the same time, we should not seek to make a mockery of grace. Someone should not take advantage of the gifts they're given in a malicious way. What is to subvert a divine thought? To outwit God? Surely that person hasn't outwitted even himself. So what can he do? He can ask for forgiveness. He can confess his failure. And he can swear oaths that he will persist in building the tower that is his life, that is his soul, that is his virtue, until the day he dies. And whatever was unfinished, might it be completed by another's hand? Might his legacy not be one of sloth and of lust and of wrath and of envy, seeing others that are doing the work and wanting their success, but not putting in any of the work oneself? To live is to work. You're not given consciousness only to spend your time asleep. You are not given a world only to spend your time in one of man's making. You can touch and feel and smell and hear. Why would you spend all of those senses in a simulated version of reality? You'll claim that it provides experiences that you could never have in the real world, but you would never know because you're not living in the real world. You're seeking at all times to escape it, to delve into fantasy, not only for the purpose of entertainment, not only for the purpose of a passionate hobby, but when it has overstepped and it has become the fictitious life, that you live more than your true life, something has gone wrong. And I think many feel this. So seek out community. Seek out a net. Those you can trust, and those with whom you can share your struggles, to whom you can confess your failures. Those who will build you up, and those whom you can build up. Those who care, those who are legitimate, and most of all, those who are not only beyond a screen, but those who are truly there. It's hard for one to be accountable to oneself. He does well to be in the company of others who are of a like mind. And that is my recommendation. Persist after every failure. Do not become friends with failure, friends with relapse, friends with atrophy. Become friends with strength and with wisdom and with temperance. Self-control is key to thriving. And in the moments where you feel that you will be overwhelmed by your old temptations to return to a dreary and false version of your life, call for help. Whether from a seen or unseen force, benevolence demands that you improve. You want what is ordered and what is right, not what is wrong. And to suffer is to improve. To burn in the fire of a crucible is not to be consumed. It is to be tempered and to be strengthened. And you will not be finished until the strengthening has taken place. And perhaps that'll be your whole life. But perhaps it'll be only a season. Perhaps this will be the briefest portion of your life in order to undo what you've done, to heal your mind, to forge your body into something more. But this is your opportunity. Every day is your opportunity. Every moment that you say no to the old and you embrace the new and improved is a victory. Thank God. Thank yourself. You've had this moment of clarity. Realize it now and actualize it. Apply it. Don't let it fade away. Do not waste your time. Do not waste your life. Use it for what is good. Produce things. Produce people. Go out and live. Smile. Enjoy the company of your cats and dogs. Enjoy the feeling of rainfall. Enjoy the sight of clouds on the horizon. Feel the breeze against your skin. Savor the taste and refreshment of a cold glass of water or the warmth of morning coffee. Life is there for you to live, and do not waste the gift that is the present. This very moment, you're here, you're alive. It's not as it was before you drew your first breath. So don't run from it. Run to it. Embrace it. And live not to regret, but live to cherish every memory.